Why Trump's allies are quietly buying real estate again. There's a real estate market move happening right now that's almost no one's talking about. But the people making it, they're the ones closest to Trump, from Florida to the Rust Belt. Certain markets are heating up, and insiders are placing quiet bets. Today on the Economic Report, we're unpacking what they know that you don't and what it could mean for your next move when it comes to real estate or anything else for that matter. Before we break it down, hit the like button. It helps push this out to people who need to see it because they need to know what's really going on in the housing market. So, what's the pattern that we're seeing? In the past 90 days, we've seen an uptick in real estate investment activity from politically connected investors, especially in red leaning states. Here's a few different headlines. Check these out. Florida housing market stabilizing after decline. Major land buys in Georgia, Ohio, and Texas. These aren't just flippers, they're positioning for what's coming. So you might be asking yourself the same question that I am. Like, what might be happening that I really don't completely understand? So, one thing's for certain, Trump and his allies have made it clear that they expect major deregulation if 2025 goes their way. Lower interest rates, favorable tax breaks, and reduced zoning pressure in conservative regimes could reignite select markets. This is about anticipation. Buy low now, reap benefits post election. So, who's making these moves? Look at who's active. Former Trump staffers, real estate syndicates, and politically adjacent think tanks that own their own property arms. Very, very interesting that these are the groups that are going out there and making these real estate plays. So, who's making these moves? There's a lot of stuff going on out there. For instance, there's some active former Trump staffers, real estate syndicates, and politically adjacent think tanks that own property. And of course, they have the ability to make these property plays like the here and the now in these right leaning states. There's also a little bit of information that's out there about FEC filings and corporate property buys. And we want to make sure that we're throwing these things out there as well. Um, they're not necessarily going public, they're going quiet, but the footprint's there. So the big question is, what does it mean to you and what does it mean to me? And what does it mean to our listener base, right? Because at the end of the day, we're in this together, trying to get to the bottom of what's the bigger picture of going on right now in our economy. So let's check it out. If these insiders are right, this could be the last calm before another boom cycle, especially in low regulation, high growth zones. Watch for early signs permitting trends, and of course, that would mean infrastructure spending and public/private partnerships in red states. For instance, if you were to take a look at a place like Columbus, Ohio, they've had a massive real estate play going on right around the whispers of the trumpeting of news, should we say now, of an Intel plant going on at some point in time. And of course, all the ancillary businesses that need to be built in order to support that Intel plant. This is happening all over the United States, particularly in those red states. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, the smart money moves well ahead of the headlines. And what we're trying to do is just pick up on some of these stories that are out there that are worth sharing and maybe worth raising your eyebrows about, because when you have an idea of what's going on, understand that you're able to participate, analyze, and maybe even become more aware of where those investment dollars are heading and make sure that we aren't the ones left holding the bag. So, here's the real question. Would you make a move right now if you knew the market would favor you in 12 months? Drop a comment below. Buy, hold, or wait. So here's the real question. Would you make a move now If you knew the market would favor you in 12 months, drop a comment below. Buy, sell, or simply hold. I'm curious to see where this audience stands and where you think real estate markets are holding. And maybe a bigger trend is maybe you live in a blue state where something very similar is happening. And just so we're understanding, we're trying to pay attention to the trends. I'm a guy on the internet. I don't know it all, but I can share with some of the things that we see happening out there, and maybe we can take a look at which way the wind is blowing and make some analysis, some predictions based on that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to pay attention for this community about real estate trends before they hit the headlines. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you're paying close attention because we're always trying to understand what's going on in the economy before it hits. Until then, remember, leave your comments below and hit the like button, subscribe button to help me feed Charlie. Have a great day.